They told you to chase your dreams, to believe in yourself, to follow your passion, and everything else would fall into place. But here's what they didn't tell you. Chasing your dreams might be the most brutal, lonely, anxiety-inducing thing you ever do. It might break you before it builds you. It might silence every ounce of confidence you thought you had. And if you're not prepared for what's coming, you won't just lose the dream. You'll lose yourself in the process. Most people romanticize the hustle, the grind, the glow-up, the private jets and six-figure watches. But this is the truth. Let's talk about the ugly side of chasing your dreams. The part no one warns you about. The part most people never survive. Let's get this straight. When you start chasing a dream, you're not just making a decision. You're starting a war with your old self, with your fears, with your comfort zone, and sometimes, even with the people closest to you. You'll lose friends, not because they're bad, but because growth is uncomfortable to people who stayed still. They'll say you've changed, and you have. You're supposed to. You'll feel misunderstood. People will stop inviting you out. They'll mock your discipline, your obsession, your vision. They don't see the sleepless nights, the battles with self-doubt, the tears cried in silence. Because this path isn't public. It's private, it's personal, and it will challenge your identity at its core. Sometimes you'll be so broke, so tired, so confused, you'll start Googling, "Can I put ambition on pause for a year?" You'll envy the ones who never tried. You'll see your peers with stable jobs, weekend barbecues, student loan forgiveness, and think, maybe that life wasn't so bad. But deep down, you know, that life was never for you. You weren't made for ordinary. You weren't made for average. But chasing greatness comes with a cost. You sacrifice time. You risk comfort. You trade instant gratification for long-term growth. And in between where you are and where you want to be is a brutal, soul-crushing middle, the gray zone, that space where you let go of who you were, but have no idea who you're becoming. That's where most people quit. But you're going to walk through it. You'll wake up questioning everything. Your confidence, your identity, your value. You'll have days where nothing makes sense, and nights where you feel completely alone. You'll scroll past people celebrating wins and promotions, while you're celebrating just surviving another day. You'll look at your bank account, your social life, your mental health, and you'll wonder, is it really worth it? Because no one sees what it's like to build something from scratch, from zero, alone. But here's the paradox. You are alone, and yet you're not. Because every single person who's ever built something great has walked through this exact fire. And that fire is not trying to destroy you. It's trying to refine you. Here's another truth no one mentions. Your environment will resist your growth. Not because people are evil, but because your transformation makes them reflect on their stagnation. You'll hear phrases like, "Don't work too hard." "You're always busy now." "Who do you think you are?" And these words will sting because they're coming from people you love. But that's the test. To keep going, even when love becomes conditional. To walk alone not out of arrogance, but out of necessity. You'll experience guilt for wanting more. Guilt for outgrowing your old life. Guilt for choosing your dream over comfort. But growth is guilt's favorite enemy. Because every level demands a new version of you. And that version is forged in pain. Here's where the real test begins. The dream gets quiet. The audience disappears. The motivation dies. And all that's left is you in the mirror. You start wondering if you're good enough. You see others winning while you feel stuck. You start measuring your worth by likes, comments, and follower counts. You wake up and feel numb. You're grinding, but there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You question if this is purpose or punishment. You compare your behind the scenes to everyone's highlight reel. And slowly, doubt starts replacing drive. You lose your sense of self. Because when your identity is tied to progress, and progress feels invisible, you begin to fade from your own life. You start making excuses. You procrastinate. You self-sabotage. Not because you're lazy, but because you're afraid of what happens if you fail again. You're one rejection away from quitting and applying for that safe desk job your uncle kept recommending since 2016. But hear me, that feeling, that darkness, it's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're evolving. His part of the journey isn't glamorous. It's gritty. It's where you either build resilience or run back to comfort. And let me be honest, you'll question everything. You'll face fear you never knew existed. Fear of wasting time. Fear of failure. Fear of looking foolish. And fear of success, too. Because deep down, success requires responsibility. It requires you to never be the same again. And that's terrifying. But guess what? You can't grow and stay safe. You either become the person your dream requires, or you let the dream die. There's no in-between. But once you walk through that darkness, something else emerges. Not a better version of you. A dangerous version. A version that doesn't beg for permission. A version that creates its own reality. Let me show you what that looks like. You keep going, one day at a time. You stop performing and start becoming. You build discipline, not motivation. You stack habits, not hype. You become consistent, even when it's boring. And then everything changes. You stop reacting to the world and start commanding it. You stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You stop chasing approval and start building power. You start believing in your own potential, not because someone told you, but because you earned it by fighting through hell. You wake up with a different fire. You see obstacles and laugh, because now you understand pain was the price. Loneliness was the training. Silence was the teacher. You realize you didn't just chase a dream. You became the dream. And now the world notices. The people who once ignored you start watching. The same ones who doubted you start asking for advice. And you'll think, wow, I built all this from pain, coffee, and refusing to quit. You are not here to be average. You are not here to live small. You are not here to apologize for your ambition. This life, the dream, is not about money. It's about freedom. Freedom from fear, from mediocrity, from pretending. You now speak with confidence, walk with clarity, and live with conviction. You don't just chase success. You attract it because you became the kind of person who earns it. You stopped asking the world to give you a break. You broke through the world. You've earned the scars. And now you wear them like armor. You didn't survive the ugly side of the dream. You conquered it. But here's the truth they won't tell you. The pain doesn't end. The pressure doesn't stop. But you get stronger. You learn how to carry the weight. You learn how to breathe through chaos. You become anti-fragile. Where others break, you bend. Where others run, you rise. Where others quit, you adapt. This is the gift that the ugly side gives you. Not the money, not the fame, but the steel in your spine and the fire in your soul. If you're still in the dark, keep going. If you're doubting yourself, keep building. Because every breakdown is the doorway to your breakthrough. Remember this. The pain is temporary. The vision is permanent. But there's one more thing holding you back. One silent killer you need to expose. Your insecurity. It lies to you. It shrinks your vision. It convinces you that you're not ready. And if you don't kill it, it will kill your dream. So don't stop here. Click the next video. Direct it. Your insecurity is lying to you. Here's the truth. Because the future version of you is waiting on the other side of that lie.